Come here.
No.
Hey guys, I want to talk a little bit about my surgery. That's my daughter. She's 8 years old. I want to talk a little bit about my surgery because I know that when you are going to get your toe reversal done, you're going to freak out. You're going to question yourself, is this the best decision? The only thing I recommend is that you do your own research. I had a whole bunch of doctors in my mind that I was looking into, and I didn't know which doctor. I was confused. One of the doctors is Dr. Montier. He's in Raleigh, North Carolina. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Dr. Levine in Kentucky. Lakeshore Surgical Center, which is where I went. Let's see what other doctor. There is NCCRM. I think I'm saying it right. It's in North Carolina somewhere. I don't know. I saw the reviews and I was like, no, I'm not going there. There's no way I'm going there. I mean, it's the most cheapest place. It's the most cheapest place, but I would not get my toe reversal done there. There's another doctor in Atlanta, Georgia that I was gonna go to. I forgot his name. And what happened is Dr. Monte was my first choice. His reviews, I have someone that knows someone who went to him. He's only 2 hours away from me. It was really convenient for me to go to Dr. Monte. And I'm sorry if I'm saying his name wrong. I love the way the clinic looks. I love the reviews. I love the way he did his surgery. But he doesn't take care credit. I didn't get financed through him. I could have saved the money for surgery, but I was getting worse as the month progressed. My PTOS symptoms was getting worse. So I was like, no, I can't. I need to do my surgery in less than a year. Was I going to premenopause? I don't know. But my symptoms were getting horrible. My periods were getting shorter. And I was really concerned about my hormone imbalance. So I couldn't go to Dr. Montier because he didn't take care credit. So I was like, okay, what are my choices after Dr. Montier? So I looked into Lakeshore. I looked into Dr. Levine, the other doctor in Atlanta, Georgia, and NCCRM, I think it's called. Immediately after I saw some reviews about NCCRM, or NCCR, I think it's called NCCR. Or NCCM, I'm not sure, something like that. Immediately I saw some bad reviews. I was like, no, it's cheaper, but I'm not gonna risk myself. Oh, another place I was gonna go to was to Mexico. I thought about going to Mexico too. Sorry about my dog, she started barking. And immediately, so I had 6 places. Mexico, I was like, no. I saw their videos about their surgery. I was like, no, even though it's cheaper, I'm not going to risk myself like that. I have multiple sclerosis and I have thyroid problems. So I'm not going to put myself in a place where I know I can be risking myself. NCCR or NCCRM, no. I said no. Immediately I saw the reviews. So then there was the doctor in Atlanta, Georgia, Lakeshore, Dr. Levine, and Dr. Montier. Montate. I don't know. I think I'm saying it wrong, but I'm not sure. I looked into Dr. Levine and I told my husband, would you drive that far to get my surgery done? He was like, yeah, anything. I want to make you feel better. He suffered for me with all this months of me, having symptoms after symptoms of PTOS. So he wanted me to feel better. Another thing was, the money was a little bit of struggle to get to finance. So the reason why I took out Dr. Levine is because I started looking through his reviews. Even though he's like really popular among toe reversal and he has a lot of success rate, I looked into his hospital, the clinic where he gets it done, where he does all these surgeries, and I was like, the hospital looks kind of old and it just doesn't look clean. And I was like, you know what? But you know what? I really want this done. I told myself, so if I have to go there, I have to go there. So I started doing my research, and I came across one of his reviews. This lady said she got her surgery done there, and she said that the hospital looked old, that something about a clock that was falling apart, or she just mentioned certain things that was like not, you know, medical. I'm not gonna say is like the place wasn't really disinfected and stuff, because I never visited that hospital. You know, I can't judge based on just pictures. But the picture that I saw about the hospital, I didn't like. And that comment about that woman kind of like confirmed what I was feeling. So I was like, you know, no. So Dr. Levine was out of my list. So then it was the doctor in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. I forget his name, but I'm not going to mention it anyways. Lakeshore, and Dr. Montiate. I so wanted to go to Dr. Montiate. And I'm sorry if I'm saying his name wrong. Which is, I think his place is called First Choice. Or I'll look into all these names in my next video, and I'll comment them in case you guys want to do your research. So Dr. Montiate, or Montiate, I don't know. I'm sorry guys, I'm saying it wrong. I know you guys are probably gonna laugh at me, but that doctor in Raleigh, North Carolina was the one I really wanted to go to. And I really was like, I need to save money to go to the doctor. But then I started praying, and I told God, you know what? Send me wherever you want to, wherever you know my surgery is going to be okay. So I applied for Dr. Montiate financing and didn't get approved. I thought about opening my savings with them to do the surgery there, because I know someone that knows that went to them, and their surgery went perfectly. They have 2 kids already, and they only told me really good things about them. Also, their reviews are really good. The clinic looks beautiful. But then, in order for me to do my surgery with him, it would have taken me forever. So I was like, you know what? I can't do that. My PTSD symptoms are getting worse. My headaches were getting worse. I barely was able to get up from bed. I was able to function. I didn't know if it was my multiple sclerosis acting up, or was it the PTLS that was making me bad, or was it my thyroid that was really off. I was not sure, but I was like, something in my gut told me it was my PTLS making me really, really sick. So I took out Dr. Montier because it would have taken me forever to save the money, even though I could have used my tax money, but that was going to be like until next year, and I was going to have to save a little bit extra because they don't give me $7,000. So at the end, it was Dr. Lakeshore, my doctor that I went to, and then there was the doctor in Atlanta. So I was down to 2 doctors and doing my research. So the doctor in Atlanta, Georgia, was the one I scheduled for August 22nd. They take care, all these doctors took care credit, but Dr. Montiate. So I had all these, and except Mexico, of course. In Mexico, I had to pay cash, but it's barely anything in Mexico. I know I've seen a lot of videos about women that go to Mexico and, you know, they get pregnant, they do their surgery over there, and it's successful. Fine, it has no problem. I mean, just because you go to somewhere doesn't mean it's not a fit for someone else, or just because I didn't like those places doesn't mean that someone else's story is not successful. I was just doing 100% my research because I know I have MS and I have thyroid problems, so I knew I couldn't risk myself just to be like, oh, I'm just going to go to this doctor because he's cheaper or because he's this. No, I needed to go somewhere and make sure that I knew my life wasn't going to be put in any risk or any dangers of infections or anything. So I was really, really, really doing my research. I followed some girl in YouTube that she got her tour reversal done with Dr. Levine, and she said, you know, that her surgery was successful, that her tubes are open. She hasn't gotten pregnant yet. She's trying to TTC right now, but she hasn't gotten pregnant yet because she just recently started trying, and her surgery was like 6 months ago. But she went to Dr. Levine and she's fine. You know what I mean? I personally didn't like her incision. It looked like she was busher, but you know, hey, if she feels comfortable, she feels like her doctor did an awesome job and she liked her progress and stuff, that's fine. You know, you can't judge someone else because they're the ones who pay for their surgery. You didn't pay for the surgery. You didn't pay for my surgery. I paid for my own surgery. So you can't judge someone else. You just have to make sure that you're praying to God and going with your gut instincts. If you don't believe in God, if you're someone who doesn't believe in religion beliefs, then you go based on your gut instinct and you ask yourself, what do I want? What do I want from this clinic, you know? So anyways, going back to the doctors, so there was only down to 2 doctors, Dr. in Lakeshore, Dr. Greener, which he was the one who was going to do my surgery, and then the doctor in Atlanta, Georgia, I don't remember his name. Let's see if I can remember, not even the clinic's name I remember right now. I know they gave me an appointment for August 22nd, and I was really excited. I got paperwork on the mail from them. I told my husband, we're going to go to August 22nd, ask for a day off, and we're going to go to Atlanta, Georgia together. I'm outside, so I'm getting allergies. Sorry if I'm touching my nose a lot, but I can feel my nose itching already. So yeah. And all of a sudden, I noticed that Lakeshore had a private group. So I added myself to it. I started reading comments about women. It was really good comments, really good reviews. So, but I was still like, I don't know. There's something about them that I don't know. So I started calling the other clinic that I was going to do my surgery with, and their nurses were really rude. And I was like, there's something about this doctor I'm going to go to I don't feel comfortable with. So I was kind of like really confused, really like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I don't feel comfortable about these doctors. I wanted to go to Dr. Montier, but then I would tell myself like, oh my God, like, I don't know what to do. I don't have the money to go to Dr. Montier, but I have to go somewhere, doctor, and that takes care credit. So I was like in an inner fight with myself. You know, I was really scared. You know, I was pretty much when you're going to a surgery, you're putting your life in these doctors' hands. So you have to be really careful where you're going. So I started looking into Facebook and started looking for women who have already gotten their surgery done. So I came across this really nice lady, and we've been talking ever since for like 2-3 months, I think, already now. And she had commented on some other woman's comment in Facebook that did the surgery with the doctor I was gonna go August 22nd in Atlanta, Georgia. And I clicked on her name and I messaged her privately, and I'm like, hey, did you get your surgery done in Lakeshore in Gainesville with Dr. Greener? And she's like, yes, I love them, and I wouldn't trade my surgery place for any other place. And I'm like, oh, I'm asking because I'm going to, you know, I was mentioning the other doctor in Atlanta, Georgia. She's like, I don't recommend you to go to that other doctor because they put some kind of like gauze or something in your belly to drain you, and they send you home with that, and you have to remove it yourself, and then the nurses are kind of rude. And I was like, you had the same feeling about them than I did. I felt like the nurses were rude too. I'm like, I am not gonna go to that doctor. I'm not gonna go to somewhere where I'm not gonna be treated professionally. I'm not gonna be treated kind when I'm paying $7,000. And she's like, well, that's the best decision. You should go to Lakeshore. Lakeshore was really good. And we started talking. I started looking at reviews in Lakeshore. But the problem was with Lakeshore that I spoke to a nurse, and she told me, okay, I got approved from Care Credit for my whole surgery, $6,900. And I told her I got approved, and she's like, well, you're gonna have to pay $500 for this surgical fee for getting it financed, and then you're gonna have to pay $2,000 because online you can only pay for each doctor you can pay up to $5,000. So everything else have to come out of your pocket. So in total I had to come up with $2,000. The $500 plus the difference of the $5,000 was $1,900. I'm sorry. So out of my pocket I had to come up with $2,400. Sorry, I had to think on my nose. I need to go inside because my allergies are getting bad. So I had to come up with $2,400, which was gonna take me a few months. because my husband was going through some other legal process that I was helping him with. So it was really hard for me to come up with $2,000 in just like a month or less. So it was going to take me a few months. So I kind of got discouraged. One time I was going into my mom's job, her daycare. I was going to go drop something off for her. And I looked up in the sky and I was like, God, seriously, you need to help me with this surgery. You need to find a way. Help me find a way. I told God. I was looking up in the sky and I told God, you need to help me find a way to do the surgery. I cannot take it anymore. I cannot take these PTLS symptoms anymore. And I just walked inside and let it be. Well, needless to say, the next day, one of the nurses from Lakeshore called me and said, how are you doing? Is there anything else that we can help you? But I didn't answer the call. And she left me a voice message saying that stuff. So I was like, you know what? Let me just call. Even though I was a little bit discouraged because I had to come up with $2,400, and not just pay with the refinance care credit card. I was like, you know what? Let me just call and follow up with them and see what they recommend or what they have to help me with or questions that I have. I really didn't have any questions. So I called them and I said, hey, such and such nurse from Lakeshore called me and I want to follow up with them because she called me and left me a voicemail. And the nurse, I do remember their names. I'm just not going to mention their names for, she was like, well, she's on the phone right now. Do you have any questions or is there anything I can help you with? And I was like, no, I don't really have any questions. I just have to come up with $2,400 for the surgery. And she's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, yeah, I have to come up with $2,400. That's what the other nurse that was helping me said. And she's like, no. Oh, she's like, where do you live? I'm like, well, I live in such and such place. And she was like, oh, well, if you come down here, you can pay the whole surgery with your care credit card. And I was like, what? You telling me that I can get my surgery done this month if I go drive down there and pay with the care credit face to face? She's like, yeah, if you just have to come face to face. It's just you can't do it online. Online, it only allows us to take $5,000. And I'm like, you know what? Let me talk to the nurse and we can discuss it Friday. I think it was like a Tuesday or Wednesday they called. And me and my husband were discussing it, and he's like, that's awesome that you can pay with a credit card, and they're allowing you to do that. And I'm like, yeah, we're gonna go down there and pay for the surgery. I want to get this done. I can't take the symptoms anymore. It's getting me irritated. It's getting on my nerves. And the thing was like, okay, so next day I was gonna wait for them to call me Friday, but I was like, you know what? I can't take this anymore. I want to do the surgery, as soon as possible. So I called Thursday and I spoke to a nurse and I'm like, when can I come in to pay for the surgery? She's like, well, you can come next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, it was July 10th. I was supposed to take a test at school. I moved the test for another day and I went down there and I paid for my surgery. My surgery was scheduled for